Ladies and gents, welcome back. Bill C-18 continues to deliver for the Liberals, but not in the way they wanted. This is an entire backfire on them, as it's turned the propaganda wing of the government, as they wanted it to be, into a pariah that social media companies just do not want on their platforms, and for good reason. Now, the new Minister of Heritage, the new propaganda minister in Canada, is lashing out at the social media platform Meta right now. Pascale St-Onge is the new replacement for Rodriguez as the Liberal Minister of Propaganda, Minister of Canadian Heritage here. Meta says on Twitter, Meta is blocking access to news in Canada on Facebook and Instagram because they refuse to pay their fair share, she says, for news on their platform. The Online News Act is not blocking news. Meta is. And that's the position here. You may have seen this message on Instagram recently. This is because Meta has decided to block Canadians' access to news on their platforms instead of paying their fair share to news organizations. Well, what is the fair share and how does that work? So Bill C-18 was laid out in a way that it would essentially tell these corporations who are the news agencies. Now, not everybody fell under this category as a news agency in Canada. So who were the news agencies? Well, there were a bunch of handpicked, depending on the application, put into the government to apply to be one of these news agencies. Well, they were picking and choosing who gets to be those news agencies. And then they would pick and choose how much money would be paid out to them. It does, if it sounds like a racket, well, it is a racket. This is a shakedown of any kind. Now, in response to this, Twitter Notes, fantastic job, everybody out there that's doing these Twitter Notes. Putting out there, one user added, the Online News Act, Bill C-18, requires platforms to pay news publishers if they provide access to news content. By choosing to no longer provide access to news content, Meta is fully complying with the law. And this is absolutely correct. Now, what's being said here is what's in the bill and what is now law in Canada is, and it's yet to be pushed forward, but they're preemptively complying with this law because they don't want to be on the hook for paying money that normally wouldn't have to be paid in this environment. It's unheard of for a news agency's links to be put on to a website by a third party, and then that that website, the social media platform, have to pay then the publishers of the website, or the links. Anyway, the news publishers. So in response to this, they're complying by just simply removing the content from their website. The government claimed Meta and Google were stealing content. This is the claim. Meta is following the new law through blocking news on their sites, and this is how it's working. Now, Pablo Rodriguez saw this a completely different way when they were ready to pass the bill, and this is an older article from CTV News that I've highlighted on this channel a few times. Pablo Rodriguez, of course, was the former Minister of Heritage in Canada, and he was boasting about the bill and how great it was going to be in this article. Rodriguez said the CBC would financially benefit from the passage of the Online News Act, also known as C-18. The bill would require tech giants to pay Canadian media companies for linking or to otherwise repurposing their content online. The Parliamentary Budget Officer released a report last year that shows that news businesses are expected to receive over $300 million annually from digital platforms when the online news bill becomes law. Hey, what happens when you tell social media companies that you're going to have to pay $300 million to Canadian news agencies as soon as this bill becomes law? Well, they change their behavior so that they don't have to pay $300 million in 1 year. And also, this is also good to be noted that when a law like this gets passed, if the companies comply with this, it's going to send a signal to other countries and other news agencies in other countries to lobby their government to pass certain bills that would do the same thing. Do you think this would fly if all the countries around the world had similar bills that did a shakedown on these social media companies? They would not survive. They wouldn't last the day on social media. Here we go. Here's Melissa Lantzman weighing in on Pascale St-Onge's tweet, saying instead of fixing their mess they're created, new minister repeats the same lines as the previous minister. Why bother? As a direct result of this liberal law, online news is being censored from Canadians. Now, it is the bill that is causing them to remove the links from their platforms. It's not really censorship at this point. It's the government giving them a compliance order to either pay or take it off the website. And that is an option for them to take it off the website. Bill C-18 is liberals siding with big corporate media while shutting down small, local, and independent news. Well, I think that was the intention, but that is not actually what's happening here. Conservatives will fix this instead of whatever this tweet is. And of course, going back to the initial tweet. Now, Canadian news content disappears from Meta platform. This is from checknews.ca, where they point out specifically the fact that, well, they've complied. They've complied with this new law. And well, you're not going to see this stuff. This is the view of CBC's page on Facebook right now. No posts available. We have CTV News, page isn't available right now, but yeah, no posts from them. Global News, same deal. Keep on moving on. You'll see more of this. Globe and Mail, no posts available. Toronto Sun, no posts available. Toronto Star. These are all what are considered news agencies as per the law that has been passed by the Liberals. Western Standard, the Post Millennial. These are, even some news organizations that are less government oriented and more independent thinking. But it's not until you get to actual true independent news where their pages are available. Hey, look at that. You can see the posts from True North here. Also, news agencies that are not, favorites of the government. Perhaps they applied for this status as being a news agency, but were rejected, such as Rebel News Canada. And then we also have friend of the channel here, Press for Truth, Dan Dix over there. His page is still absolutely available on Facebook and Meta products. So if you want to get your news in Canada, it looks like the Liberals have helped us out in the independent media space. So if it's a corporate conglomerate, if it's a big news agency, they won't be available on social media platforms. And Google has been talking about making the same implementations on their platforms, and that would include YouTube. We're not sure how that will look when that gets rolled out. Will CTV News just be removed from YouTube? I don't know how they're going to comply with these laws. And this is the thing. It's still very much up in the air on how this is all gonna be playing out moving forward. But anyway, this is how it's been going so far. So when you go to your Facebook pages, I'm not a Facebook user, but when you go to Facebook, you'll be able to access independent news media, so long as they don't fall under the compliance level of being a news agency in Canada as the purview of the federal government in Canada. So if they are not registered, they are able to operate, but as soon as they register, then it's bye-bye. You're not going to be available on these platforms. And that, again, that would go in the future to Google, which is set to comply soon. And as soon as they do, I'll be reporting on that here on the channel. But hey, if you're new to the channel, by the way, subscribe to the channel. Check out all the other videos that we've been putting out on the channel. I do daily videos here on YouTube, as well as live streams every Friday evening. I've been putting out some short content recently. I hope you like the one that went out today. I don't know if that one's going to last very long on YouTube based on what was in it. But hey, Leave a comment in the comment section down below. Let me know what you think of this whole story of Meta, Bill C-18, which is the new news law in Canada, and how this has been affecting you. Has it been affecting you? And let us know in the comment section down below. We'll see you in the next one. Keep on trucking.